My coworker wouldn't stop asking how I got the scar on my arm. When I finally told her the truth, she said, "That's a hell of a scar," Eden said, staring at my forearm across the conference table. We'd been working on a presentation for 3 hours, and this was the first personal thing either of us had said. "Ancient history," I said, pulling my sleeve down. "Looks more like geography. That thing could have its own zip code." She leaned closer. "Seriously, what happened?" "Just an accident. Nobody gets a scar like that from just an accident." She made air quotes. "That's a story scar, a conversation starter." "It's really not. Come on. We've been co-workers for what, 2 months? I deserve some backstory." She spun her pen between her fingers. "So, motorcycle accident? Shark attack? Eden, fine, keep your secrets." She turned back to her laptop, but I'm going to keep asking. She wasn't kidding. Every few days, she'd appear with a new theory. I started timing it. Monday morning, right after the staff meeting. Wednesday at lunch. Friday, before leaving. "Circus accident," she announced Monday morning, setting a latte next to my keyboard. "No, you were a junior lion tamer." "Definitely not." I found myself smiling into my coffee. Wednesday, she cornered me by the printer. "Glass factory explosion." "What? You worked in a glass factory?" "Child labor. Very Dickensian." "I was 13, not a character in Oliver Twist." "So you were 13. She pointed at me triumphantly. "Progress. Everyone was 13 once. Not everyone has a scar that looks like they wrestled a lawnmower." By Friday, she'd moved on to increasingly elaborate scenarios. "Secret government experiment," she said during our lunch break. "You can't talk about it because of NDAS. You watch too much TV. You're smiling though." She tilted her head. "You always smile when I guess." "No, I don't." She was right. The next Tuesday changed everything. I was pulling a file from the bottom drawer when the edge of the cabinet caught me. Split my bicep, not deep, but enough to bleed through my shirt immediately. "Shit," I muttered, pressing paper towels against it. "Oh my God." Eden appeared in the doorway. "You're bleeding." "It's fine, just a scratch." "That's not a scratch. That's, come on." She grabbed my good arm, pulled me to the break room. "Sit." She ran to get the first aid kit, came back with supplies and spread them across the counter. "This might sting." She rolled up my sleeve carefully, cleaning around the cut very gently. "You need to be more careful," she said quietly, dabbing antiseptic along the wound. Then she wrapped the gauze around my bicep. When she was done, she didn't let go. Instead, she held my arm, and her thumb traced my old scar. "This must have hurt so much when it happened," she said, frowning. "You were just 13. Eden, what really happened? Please, I need to know." I couldn't stand seeing her sad, especially not after she spent 5 minutes taking care of me, and now she looked like she might cry. "It happened at a lake," I heard myself say. Her thumb stopped moving. "A girl got caught in the underwater fence where they'd torn down the old dock. Her leg was tangled in the chain link. Her fingers continued to trace my scar. I dove down to get her free, and I cut my arm open on the metal getting her loose." A tear rolled down her cheek. "Hey, no." I reached up with my good hand and wiped it away. "It's fine. It was 15 years ago. It doesn't hurt anymore. You almost died, but I didn't. The girl was okay. That's what mattered." Another tear fell. "Aaron," her voice cracked. "I need to tell you something." I knew the second I saw it. I gulped. She finally looked at me instead of my scar. "The scar. I've seen it in my nightmares for 13 years, but I thought I was being crazy. What were the odds?" I looked at her confused. "Eden, what are you saying?" "I'm the girl who almost drowned." I almost fainted. I thought back to the girl I'd saved, finding it hard to believe that she was right in front of me years later. "You held my hand in the ambulance, told me jokes about the fish having a debate. You were bleeding everywhere and you were still trying to make me laugh. You were scared. You were 13 years old and you chose to save me." She stared at my scar. "This happened because of me." "No, Eden," I whispered, lifting her chin to look up at me. She looked so sad. "This happened because of a badly maintained fence," I reassured her. "I kept making those stupid guesses, hoping you'd tell me. I should have told you sooner," I said, feeling guilty. "No, this was perfect. All those ridiculous guesses, the coffee bribes, getting to know who you are now." She smiled through her tears. "Tomorrow's Wednesday. You always bring your terrible theories on Wednesday. What will you bring now that you know the truth?" "Lunch?" She bit her lip. "Maybe dinner plans? Breakfast eventually?" "Eden," my voice dropped. "Are you asking me out? Is that a bad thing?" I answered her with a kiss, my good hand tangling in her hair.